Hey guys, Ranch here, Brian Suck of Commentary. This is going to be the first set in Group C of the whatever MSL 2010 spring season. This is going to be on Triathlon, and we're going to have BeSt against MVP. Totally MVP. Will he be the MVP? You never know. But let's see. Here at the 12 o'clock, we're going to have BeSt as the yellow protoss player. We're going to have MVP at the 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock as the teal terran player. Definitely a good matchup for BeSt to start. He might not be up to his old snuff, not be up to his best anymore. Pardon the pun, but his PvT is still stellar and extremely good. Last MSL he managed to get to the round of 8, where he unfortunately met up with Flash, who was on a mad streak of death. And Flash eventually, of course, getting stopped in the finals to Jaedong, who was also on a mad streak of death. So, lesson to be learned: do not encounter players who are on a mad streak of death, especially not in a 5-game series. So MVP gonna send. Okay, that's interesting. Was he sending down his sending down the SCV down the ramp, most likely by accident, by a quarter of a second? He's gonna wall off his main with a supply depot and racks, most likely. On the opposite side, yeah, nothing really here to see so far. MVP is a player. He's hopefully is basically one of the players that Woonjing Stars are hoping to be the terran they need. It is really the one thing that currently that is severely lacking on the Stars team, and that is a decent terran, a good terran, a solid terran, a terran that'll consistently bring you wins, because sometimes MVP has brought out interesting, good games, nice wins, and occasionally Piano has had flashes of brilliance. But those are few and far between. Let's see, BeSt going to go for a 12 next here. A 3-player map, and he's feeling fairly safe with this. And this is not really that uncommon for BeSt to do. Against a Terran player, he doesn't really... Terran player styles generally are fast expansion styles, especially lately, so you don't see many double FEs, double FE pushes or something like that. Did I say FE? Whoops. Double factory pushes. FE is a fast expo dude. What's wrong with you? But anyway, yeah, you don't see many double factory pushes from Terrans these days against Protoss. You see bunker rushes, though. So that's pretty much, when you go for 12 next, that's the biggest thing you got to worry about, is a bunker rush. But most likely won't be seeing that from MVP here. Probe Scout coming in for BeSt in the correct direction, in the right direction. And I don't think MVP actually sent out an MVP, a CV Scout. Not quite sure overall. One Marine going to come out of that barracks, going to force that probe away. And, yeah, just going to float off and let the Marine come inside. But only one Marine so far. We're going to see if he gets any more. One factory, and he is actually still mining gas at a pretty high rate so far. So we're going to see what he is going to do. I'm not quite sure if he's actually going to go for an expansion or not. See the assimilator come down for BeSt. Most likely going to see the Cybernetics Core come in as well. There we go. We're going to see what he does to augment this. He's very, very much a fan of going 2 base arbiters, especially if he goes for a 12 next. He gets a quick nexus up, gets a quick expansion going, gets his economy up really high on 2 bases, and then rushes to arbiters, getting a second gateway down. Going to take a little time for him to saturate both of these 2 bases fully, but as soon as his economy hits, he's going to be very strong in the next couple of minutes. On the opposite, yeah, we are going to see an expansion. But interesting enough, he did not really drop the gas mining very heavily, so he is going to tech up, getting that machine shop down. Still hasn't produced any units so far, but he is also going to go for that command center inside of his base. It's fairly safe. Unfortunately, you can only ferry workers there, so it's going to be very weak to drops. So it is indeed, if BeSt decides to go for Reaver here, which is not really that unlikely, maybe to start off with Reaver and then follow up with Arbiter, but if he decides to go for Reaver drops here, that position is going to be extremely vulnerable and extremely weak to drops, so that already might be a loss. Just all comes down to what he goes for. Most likely going to start off with some Dragoon pressure, which probably won't go too far. Haven't seen him produce a single Zealot, and I'm not sure whether I missed something or what, but I haven't seen a single SCV Scout coming up for MVP. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. Maybe I just missed it on the map or something, because I'm kind of weirded out so far. He was attacking the Arbiter with one single unit. There are a couple of Dragoons on the ramp, but yeah, they're not following an ACV around. So apparently MVP decides to just completely forego the Scout. Cybernetics Core going to spin, and I'm sure this is going to confuse MVP a little bit. Where is the Scout? What's going on? Arbiter will eventually go down, so the eggs will be revealed, and we're going to see Starport coming in very quickly as well. So yeah, MVP is going for the quick tech route. And he's just going to continue mining there at that new base. So he's going to be able to compete economically. A couple Dragoons for BeSt do the same on the opposite side, but he smartly, actually, I feel on this map it's better, especially as a protoss, to take that natural expo easier, to make it easier for you to defend. But once you have a more maneuverable army, you can go around and pick up that other base. He's just going to slowly kill these eggs with the Dragoons so that he will do something here. Tanks, actually, on the opposite side, going to do the same to these eggs. As soon as they get siege going, it's going to be much easier for him. 2 comps station up, so he completely foregoing scouting just to get that extra ACV in there, and just waiting for those comp set stations to scan. We're going to see robotics facility coming up, and this most likely will be for observatory first. We're also going to expand, actually going to go for another expansion here at the upper left hand, going to go for that other base. On the upside, MVP meanwhile has cleared up a space for him, for himself, and gone for a Wraith, so he's definitely expecting a drop strategy, getting that Wraith out there to pick off any shuttle, and not quite sure if actually BeSt's going to go for shuttle first. I assume he's going to go for observer first, get that observatory going. Takes meanwhile going to clear up those eggs, make much more maneuverability for themselves. 3 tanks there, get pretty good to defend. 1 probe scout being sent out by BeSt, probably not going to be able to go up that ramp, not going to see any expansion coming up, but MVP is going to put down expansion. I assume at this point he's scanned BeSt's main, going for siege mode. Still, BeSt on the opposite side is going to go for observatory. If still don't see that Wraith in there anywhere. Wondering whether MVP used that for scouting instead of alongside his scans, or whether he's hiding that to be able to pick off a shuttle. 3rd gateway going to come down. Yeah, Wraith's just going to kind of hide around the right side, going to try to act as a spotter, going to try to bypass these Dragoons. Not really going to be able to harass those probes with those Dragoons there. One single Wraith's not really going to be able to do enough damage. Has a Marine, interesting enough, at the 8 o'clock position. MVP is being very careful. He's trying to make sure that there's not going to be any funky sort of expanding coming in from BeSt. You also saw him adding in a supply depot, a science supply depot. What am I talking about? That's not important. He is adding in supply depot, natural, but that's not the important part. He is adding in a science facility, so he might actually be going something like Light went for an NBC, going for Wraith alongside a science vessel to do some observer sniping. It's a very funky strategy, but it's original, and you can follow it up pretty well. You know, denying scouting can be important, especially if your teleport doesn't know what you're doing around the map. Just now getting his 2nd factory up. He's gone tech first, so BeSt definitely going to have a slightly larger army to start off with. Definitely a lot more Dragoons to tank ratio, and MVP not going to have any Vultures or Goliaths to support those tanks with, but that's why he's walling off, using the engineering bay alongside that barracks to wall off, use those tanks to siege. And that observer is inside there for BeSt, so it pretty much knows the entire thing, knows what's coming. And I think that's going to be the initial science vessel to come out, going to try to scout that observer and maybe then pick it off. Both players on 3 base so far. I think MVP just now should be getting down his natural expansion at the bottom right, 5 o'clock as well. Wraith's first science vessel now out, and yeah, they're going to hunt down. So he is going for a light strategy. This is interesting. I really didn't expect anybody else but Light to go for this strat. Very interesting to see that. This could be one of those new things. And BeSt gonna go for 3 base fleet bacon. 3 base fleet bacon. It's what we get in the space. Oh, nice scan there. Gonna spot. Yeah, fleet bacon's gonna get spotted from that scan. 3 Stargates as well. So he's gonna go very, very heavy on these carriers. Very heavy. Instantly see him adding in 2 factories. He's going to start producing Goliath like crazy right now. Charon booster is going to be upgraded as well. It's most likely what's happening. A couple of Vultures going to move out now. Going to try to do some sort of some scouting, maybe do some harassment. Not going to be able to accomplish too much with those Dragoons out there. But it's all going to come down to, very luckily for MVP, he scouted those carriers at the right time. But you got to be very careful. BeSt still is a very good player with carriers. He's going very heavy on them. He's going to go 3 base carriers, 3 Stargates pumping carriers, adding in even 2 more factories, MVP. So he's going to pump a lot of Goliaths. Only has that 1 Wraith and 1 Science Vessel, so he's not going to go any Wraiths to try to defend against. Wraiths can be a very good defense against carriers if you use them cloaked and you manage to snipe off the observers. Kill, yeah.